By the rivers of Babylon, yeah, we sat down and we cried when we remembered Jerusalem. We were sick, Lord, near to dying. Yeah.
Make sure. Mic check. Great. Can everyone hear me out there? Please give me a 1 in the room. If you can hear me out there, please give me a 1 in the room. If you can hear me loud and clear, please give me a 1. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Torah. My name is Uziel Lewy, one of the teachers at Congregation D.C.B, CHOKMAH, BINAH, and giving glory to the Creator of heaven and earth, the Most High, Yehovah. Thanking the Creator for my life, the life of Yisrael scattered in the four corners of the earth, the life of all of you. Thanking the Creator of heaven and earth for food, clothing, and shelter, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Thanking the Creator for all things and everything. We almost say hallelujah. And I'm grateful to this great King for my life and the life of everyone that's here on tonight. How's everyone feeling out there today or tonight? I hope that everybody is in a good mood. I hope that everybody's in a good state of mind. I hope that everyone has had a blessed week and that the Most High God has granted you the desires of your mind, that you desire in righteousness, and that the Creator continue to be with you wherever you might be at, that the Creator continue to bless His children, His people, Yisrael, and all of us who are in need of blessing. May the Most High God continue to be with us all. Hallelujah. How's everyone out there? I'm praying that the Creator continues to be with us all and protects us. Let me see here. I know y'all wanted to hear some music. Maybe I'll play this selection. Oh, I will play this selection, not maybe. I'm hearing a little feedback in the background, so.
Are we, Lord, because of thy goodness for our souls, we commit to thy hands. Help us please for thy promised others. Thou
Blessed and praised, glorified, exalted, and extolled be the name of the supreme King of Kings, the Holy One. Blessed be He, for He is the first and He is the last, and there is no God besides Him. Strive up towards Him who guides the world through desolate places by His name, Yah, and exalt before His countenance. His name is exalted far beyond all blessings and praise. Blessed be the name of the Holy King of the universe, Yehovah Sabaoth. Hallelujah. Blessings and utterance of thanksgiving, henceforth and unto eternity. Blessed be you, Yehovah, God and King, great in hymns of praise, God of thanksgiving, Yehovah of wonders, who takes pleasure in hymns. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Blessed be Yahweh, our King. Thanking the Most High, King of the universe, for all things and everything. Thanking the Creator of heaven and earth for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, food, clothing, and shelter. I thank the Most High God for my life, the life of CHOKMAH Yisrael, scattered in the four corners of the earth. Thanking the Most High God for all things and everything. How's everyone doing out there? It's a blessing. And it's a blessed Shabbat day. You know, it's important about the Shabbat day is that a lot of times when we do services, we so accustomed to services, right? And this is something that, because we program, we don't bring in the Shabbat day with praises or with words. A lot of us are so accustomed to starting the day in the morning season, almost in the afternoon, and most of the day is gone. If you think of it in those terms, most of the day is gone. But if we sit down and think about specifically when the day begins, which is at sundown, and we open up the day, then we are meeting the day at its beginning. And that's a blessing in itself. The Most High God tells us to remember the Shabbat day, to keep it holy. There's certain rules and regulations that we must follow, and that we must abide by, right? We have to follow those rules and regulations and adhere to the commandments, the instructions that the Most High God gave us. Like I said last week, Torah means instructions. Within the instructions of the Most High God, we got statutes, we got commandments, and we got judgments. Right? We got the mitzvot, which is the commandments, the statutes, which is the kukwat, and the judgments. All of these things make up the instructions, or are part of the instructions that the Most High God gave us, which we know today is Torah. So we must follow those and walk in the path that the Most High God has left for us on record for us to follow and for us to do, which is important for us in these times, because through that we gain understanding and we learn how to walk in the things that the Most High God has left here on record for us to do. So it's important. Is definitely something that we need in our lives. Sometimes as Israelites, we get slack. We decide to do the things that the Most High God commanded us not to do, and we waver. But the beauty about this is that we can always have the foundation that we fall back on, which is Torah, which is the instructions that Yah left, and we could always follow that and get back on track. So that is the beauty of keeping this way of life, or walking in this way of life. That is the blessing of that. And as God's people, we must always keep that in mind. How many of you saw the documentary When They See Us, by a show of type in the number 2 in the room? When They See Us. How many of you seen it? If you haven't seen that, very powerful piece. Everyone, it should be mandatory for everyone to see what they teenage sons, or with their sons, period. Some of you might cry when you see it. It's just that type of thing. Yeah, very, very gripping story. very gripping history of what we know today as the Central Park Five. Basically, what happened in 1989 in New York City, in the uptown or Harlem section of Manhattan. You know I'm tired. In the Harlem section of Manhattan, which we call the city here in New York City. There was a female jogger, what we know as a Central Park jogger. She was jogging down in the road at night in Central Park. Somebody came up behind her, hit over her head, drug her into the woods, beat her bad, raped her and robbed her. In the midst of all this, a group of 5 young men between the ages of 14 and 16 were accused of this heinous crime, and they served time for allegedly committing this crime. And some 13, 14 years later, after the crime was committed, the actual person who committed the crime came forward and admitted that he committed the crime, and DNA evidence matched, and all these things came forward, and they were exonerated, and prosecutors made money became big. Woman by the name of Linda Fairstein became big. Now, I didn't want to look at this thing when everybody was telling me about this initially, because those of us who lived in New York City during that time and were around that age or was around that period, you were still a teenager, you were still in that, in your early 20s. You understood how would I say it? You understood what was going on in those times. There's always been a frail relationship between the black community and the NYPD. When that happened, it scared people half to death, because the way the media pushed it, many of us really thought that these young guys did what they did, because what the media continued to push was the video confessions. So we weren't privy to what was going on in the trial and exactly that, these guys were being forced and harassed to make these statements, and they were deprived of sleep and all these different things. And I remember very clearly everybody, all the media outlets speaking about wilding. It was like a big thing that was going on in New York City. The guys just call it catching wreck or wilding out, but wilding. They put a proper name to it, and it became like a big thing. We young black males became once again made the number one enemy, and all of us were just animals and savages. For most part, when we go into a park, you go to hang out, you go to chill, just like any other group of people that go into a park. But unfortunately, these 5 young men, their lives were changed. Yusuf Salam, Kevin Richardson, Corey Wise, Raymond Santana, and Antron McCray. Tell you that I still I remember it like it was yesterday, because I was that age. At 1989, I was 14 years old. So I was the age of one of the kids that actually got sent to prison for committing this crime that he didn't commit. And it was unfortunate, because it really built that distrust between the black community and the NYPD. So what we see in that is that and when we look at the laws, or we look at the instructions of the Most High God and what he instructs us to do, when you exonerate someone, or you find someone not guilty, or someone accused a person of doing something that they did not do, then the punishment that was supposed to go on that person is supposed to go on the accuser. The reason why I bring that up is because everyone was complicit in these young men having to do what served this time, being brutalized in prison. I don't know if any of them were sodomized, were raped, but I presume in some of the scenes from what was being shown in the movie that at least one of them were. And now we know that in prison, the thing that's frowned upon the most is rape and child molestation. So these young guys, because you could see them confessing that they committed the crimes, and that's what they pushed, the narrative that they pushed on TV was they went through a lot of hell. Torah teaches us to investigate a matter, right? To have more than two witnesses to establish a matter. And the laws of this country have certain rules that you cannot get testimony from people, underage people, without their parents or lawyer being there. And these police officers, these detectives bypassed all those rules, and it was a free-for-all. So this teaches us that regardless of what, and I'm talking to young people out there, regardless of what's going on around you, and time and chance happen to us all, and you never know what kind of situation that you will find yourself in. We must apply Torah in everything that we do. But besides Torah, there is a thing called sensibility and having understanding. And in understanding the laws of this land, and that we already have a strike against us because of the color of our skin. As young men and young women, and especially to the young men, because you are more in danger than anyone else, young black men. Whenever you fall under the hands of those who do not care for your best or do not have your best interests in mind, it is very important for you to understand your rights, which is you have the right to an attorney, you have the right not to say anything, and you might need to toughen up a little bit when you in their hands, right? Because sometimes they play good cop, bad cop. That's what they did with these kids. You know, you tell us what we want to hear, and you go home, and they coerce confessions out of them, that things that they did not do, because the DNA actually exonerated them. So as youth, as Israelite youth, understand your rights. Understand that you might get a brush in with a police officer. They might take you down to a precinct. Don't be scared. Put your trust in Yah. Understand your rights. Wait to make your phone call to your parents, and wait till your parents come there, or your guardian, someone that's old enough to be there with you to guide you in the way that you should move. And we should not be terrorized, because anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. So these are things that we have to be aware of, and things that we have to be on top of. I just wanted to talk about that because, it's something that I saw and it was on my mind. Big prayer, shout out for Imamuna. Keep Imamuna in your prayers. I spoke to her today. She says she's doing well. Her pressure went up a little. So we pray for Imamuna. We pray for Cohen Pinkas, who's going through a fight right now. May the Most High God bless him and keep him. We also pray for Chief of Chiefs, Chief Naphtali, that the Most High God be with him and bless him and protect him and guide him. That the Most High God be with all of our people who need prayer, who need healing. That the Most High God be with them all. Those who need healing mentally, as well as those who need healing physically. That the Most High God be with them, guide and protect them and keep them. And I'm praying that Yah will continue to be with those who call upon his name. That Most High will even grant them more life, and that the Most High God be merciful. So I'm grateful to this great King, and I'm thankful to this great King, because he allows us to be here, and he allows us to be in his presence as his people. It's not an easy thing with the things that go on on the earth. We have to get closer to the Creator. We have to check everything that we do. We have to check how we move and where we move and how we eat and everything. We have to be on top of all the things that the Most High, so that the Most High will find pleasure in us. We must always keep Yah in mind. Now I want to read something here. Now, many of us, we come before the Creator thinking that once we come to the Creator, that everything is hunky-dory and that everything is going to be perfect for us. But if we look at the life of Joseph went down to Egypt as a bond servant, and at the end there was a reward. But he had to be tested through the iron furnace, which was Egypt, to come out on the other side of it a precious metal or a precious diamond. Joseph went through what we call HELL. Joseph went through a lot down in Egypt. But at the end of it, he was put there for a purpose. But he went through some suffering. And sometimes we go through suffering in our lives just to see what we're made of, whether we're that precious metal or not, whether we're that unfloored diamond or not. How is it that you could go through life without a test? And sometimes the Most High touch you in things that you love the most, in things that you put your trust in the most. And that's not how it ought to be. Yah is first. We must put Yah first. And we must understand that. In the book of Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 2, it reads on this wise. Also the book of Sirach. My child, when you come to serve Yahweh, prepare yourself for testing, right? Don't think that you come before Yah and that there's not going to be some obstacles before you, because Yah has to test to see whether or not you're a true servant. It says, so prepare yourself for testing. Verse 2, set your heart right and be steadfast, and do not be impetuous in time of calamity. So set your heart right and be steadfast, and don't be impetuous in time of calamity. That's deep right there. says, do not be impetuous. Let's look it up. I believe it's do not be hasty. Do not be hasty in time of trouble, I believe that is. You know, that's them old English words. Let's see. Right. Acting or done quickly and without thought or care. Right. So do not be hasty. Right. Don't when you read it here, it says, set your heart right and be steadfast, and do not be impetuous in time of calamity. Do not be hasty. Don't make rash decisions. Right. Be steadfast. That's our job. To continue to walk this line or to push this line of righteousness. Israel is gone down the river. Israel is doing what they want to do, and they're not doing what Yah wants them to do. Some of us just do what we want to do, and it's not coinciding with what the Most High God commanded us to do. And these are the things that are bringing us down as a people, and it's causing us to err before the Most High God. All the rebellion and all the things that we feel like we doing, that's okay, that the Most High God accepts. But Yah does not accept our wrong. In fact, he punishes us for the wrong that we do. So we have to be very careful, and we have to be precise when we come before the Most High God. It says here, cling to him and do not depart, so that your last days may be prosperous. It says, cling to Yah and do not depart, so that your last days may be prosperous. When we get wishy-washy, sometimes you see people, they feel like they don't need Yah any longer, or they feel like they could serve Yah the way that they want to be, that they want to serve Yah. But the Most High God tells us, or the writer is saying, to stick to Yah, so that in your late days you may be prosperous. Prosperous does not always mean monetary value, but you could be prosperous to where you see your children are raised up right, your children are doing the right thing, you are living and you are okay. You're not the richest person in the world, but you're not the poorest person in the world. That's a blessing. Sometimes we don't see that as a blessing, but that's a blessing. You feel me? That's a blessing. It says here, accept whatever befalls you, and in times of humiliation, be patient. So, you know, the exonerated 5, as someone put up there, you know, what came upon them, they didn't see this end. They couldn't see this far out. Maybe some of them did. They saw that one day they will be exonerated before the eyes of the people. But today, the Most High God is lifting them. Although they went through that calamity and some of the things that happened to them could not be taken back. But today, they are exonerated not only in the courts, but they are exonerated in the eyes of the people. And people are holding them to a higher esteem than all the people who put all that evil upon them. All the media, everybody owes those guys an apology. The media, the prosecutors, the DA office, the detectives, the NYPD, they all owe them a public apology. Although they paid out and they shelled out money, they all owe them a public apology. So when your days come where accept whatever befalls you, and in times of humiliation, be patient. Don't try to rush it. Sometimes bad days come. Sometimes you don't have it. Sometimes you have to go to the welfare. Hey, man, you pay taxes. Now you fell on hard time that might be humiliating for you. But guess what? Be patient. because the Most High God is going to be there. Some of us have to deal with that. We have to collect that. But we pay taxes for years, but we ashamed to go get it. Listen, that's what they owe us. Especially if you've been putting in that time and you've been on that grind. You know, you've been working. There's nothing to be ashamed of. It says here, verse 5, for gold is tested in the fire, and those found acceptable in the furnace of humiliation. Some translations say in the furnace of adversity. So for gold is tested in the fire. So how do you test to see the purest gold? You put it in fire, right? And then you will begin to see if it has other alloys attached to it and they begin to separate. So how can the Most High God see if we are that rare metal or that diamond in the rough if he don't test us, right? So it says, for gold is tested in the fire, right? It's giving the example of using the example of gold. And those found acceptable in the furnace of adversity. So how can God find out whether or not you're worthy if you're not put in an adverse situation and see how you react or how you carry yourself, right? Like you got guys that act like they big gangsters, right? Or you go out to war, and then you got people who pee on themselves once the gunfire starts happening, right? And I'm talking about literal war. I'm not talking about the wars in the streets. I'm talking about you go out to Afghanistan, one of these places, and you never been in live action, and bullets is whistling past you, and you freeze, and you pee on yourself, and then your partner come and knock you down so that you don't get hit. And he reacts in a valiant way, or he goes and he fights, or he protects, right? That partner is tried through the furnace of adversity, and he came out on the other side a warrior, or being able to handle himself. You get what I'm saying? So those are the little things in life. So when life is presented to us and things seem like they're not going our way, then you have to wait on Yah. I feel like I just quoted a song. I don't know why, but it feels like I just quoted a song. You have to wait on Yah. I am quoting a song. He'll be there. Those of you that know. But yeah, we have to wait on Yah. Be patient, because time of humiliation or adverse times is coming. We can't bail out at any little sign of adversity. Yeah, your blood pressure might go up. You might have a little heartache and a little pain. But guess what? The Most High God is there for you, and he protects you. It says, you who fear Yahweh, wait for his mercy. Do not stray, or else you may fall. You hear that? When times get rough, don't depart from Yah. If you fear Yah, wait for his mercy. Wait for him, because he's coming. Although you're going through that hard time and that hard situation, Yah is coming. He's right around the corner. But you can't be faithless and say, man, forget Yah, and I'm going to do what I have to do. I'm going to go work on the Shabbat. I'm going to go do what I have to do and take care of my business. So be patient and wait on him. Do not stray, or else you may fall. Don't stray away from this way of life, because you're going to fall and bust your head wide open. You don't want that. It says here, you who fear Jehovah, trust in him, and your reward will not be lost. If you fear Jehovah, trust in him. And it says, and your reward will not be lost. The reward is right around the corner, but you have to trust in him, brothers and sisters. You have to trust in him. You have to be on top of your your feelings and your thoughts, and understand that Yah is there. But even though we go through the stormy weather, in the morning there's sunlight. You know what I'm saying? There's sunlight in the morning, so we have to be thankful to Yah for that. We have to be thankful to Yah for the sunlight. We have to be thankful to Yah that we have food to eat. We just all finished having Shabbat dinner. We all just finished having cake, dessert, whatever y'all made out there. What kind of desserts y'all made out there today? Tell me some of the desserts that y'all had. Some of the food that y'all have. Write it in if you have time. Write it in. All of those are blessings. So no matter how many hard times we go through, Yah is still blessing us. You know, Yah is still blessing us. It says here, you who fear Yahweh hope for good things, for lasting joy and mercy. When you fear Yahweh, these are all the rewards of fearing Yahweh. It says here, consider the generations of old and see, has anyone trusted in Yahweh and be disappointed? Has anyone trusted in Yahweh and been disappointed? No. Every one of those men, they trust in Yahweh. When the Most High God told Abraham, he said, your wife shall conceive and bear a child at 90 years old. And he said, and Abraham believed him. He said, and it was counted to him for righteousness. When you trust in Yah, he never fails you. Most High God sometimes put us in the heat of the battle, man. We right in the midst of the war. And guess what? He delivers us. And we don't know how we get delivered, but he delivered us. But you have to put your ducks on a row. The Most High God only works with those that work with themselves first and foremost. Man, sometimes you don't think, you see things or you cry for Yah, you know. And I'm not the type who's always begging Yah. I'm not that type. I'm not the one that's always getting down on my knees and begging Yah for something. But I meditate. And the Most High God knows my heart. And when I pour my heart out to him, you know, in sincereness, not in anger, because I could be angry. We all could be angry. We all deal with anger. We all have emotions. We all deal with jealousy. We all have emotions. We all have all those things. But you know what makes us exemplary one from the other? When we could learn to control the negative things that hurt us or that hurt other people's. That's the whole game right there. And learn to accentuate the things that are a blessing. Being kind-hearted and loving heart. You know, being a true neighbor. Being a true brother and a true sister. Those are the things, those are the positive things that we have to accentuate from our spirits rather than the negatives, because the negative ones are there. Now, what makes some better than the other is that we could control the negative things better and allow the positive things to be out more. Wow. Dijon mustard lamb chops? Goodness gracious. That sounds fancy. Goodness. Stop me right on my tracks. It says right here. Or has anyone persevere in the fear of Yahweh and been forsaken? Now we all gonna die. But if you persevere in the fear of Yahweh, God will not forsake you. Whatever you ask him for, eventually he gives it to you. So we have to be on top of that, brothers and sisters. It says here, or has anyone called upon him and been neglected? Think about it factually. When you call on Yah, did he neglect you? if you were not doing that which was evil? So although we go through rough patches and rough times, and we're going to go through some adversity, when we call on Yah, he'll be there. It's like that Voices of Zion song. Call upon Yah, he will be there. We got to call on Yah. Verse 11, for Jehovah is compassionate and merciful. He forgives sins and saves in time of distress. Goodness, man. How much more do you want? And what more can you ask for? For Jehovah is compassionate and merciful. He is. Think about all the stupid things that we've done and all the blunders that we've committed. And the Most High God is still there with us. And he's compassionate and merciful at the same time. He forgives sins and saves in time of distress. So when we're going through a lot of stressful things, the Most High God saves us. That's the God we serve. It says here, woe to timid hearts, to slack hands, and to the sinner who walks a double path. It said the righteous is as bold as a lion, right? It said, woe to timid hearts and to slack hands. You got to put your hands forth to do something. You got to put your hands forth to do something and stop depending on other people to do it. We all have a responsibility. We all have something to do. Like I always tell y'all in different states, don't wait for me. I'm just man. I don't control you. Don't wait for me to tell you, oh, go ahead and start teaching God's people. Wherever you at, you're a beacon of light. Wherever you're at, you're a willow amongst the grass. And you must stand up and begin. If you have this in your heart, any one of us here could train you or could talk to you about it. But if you have this in your heart, it's your job, it is your duty to go out there and to teach God's people. Don't wait for Chief Uzziel or for this prince or for that one or for the. You do it yourself. You are prepared. God has put it in you. You don't need anyone to hold your hand. The Most High God told Jeremiah, he said, go out there and teach the people. He said, but I'm a child. He said, you're not a child. He said, who's made a man's mouth? He said, I'm timid and I don't know. He said, who's done that? He said, but the people that have faces of stone. He said, tell them whether they hear or they forbear. Let them know. Let them know of their sins. And let those people know who they are. So this is our job, people. You don't get comfortable being on the internet listening to me and listening to all the teachers. You got to go out there and do your job. And let Yah's people know. Cannot be afraid. Says here, and to the sinner who walks a double path. Be careful with those guys. Those guys live a double life. It's like these down low brothers. They're in the all men's club one day, and then they come home to their Isha, living a double path. Then they contract something in the all boys club, and they bring it home to their Isha. All these people, the Most High God will judge, and he will and he will put them through the grinder. It says here, woe to the faint-hearted who have no trust, therefore they will have no shelter. As soon as the going gets tough, you get going. You faint-hearted. No one just never said it to you. You faint-hearted. You're low in trust. The Most High God will desert you so fast. It says here, woe to you who have lost your nerve. What will you do when Jehovah's reckoning comes? You lost your nerve. You don't do this anymore. You do it the way you want to do it. You know all the Hebrew in the word. Ma shalom ka, ma shalom met. You know? Lechem Yah. I hear Israelites telling you Lechem Yah when you come and you just greet them at the first time. You arriving into a place, they telling you Lechem Yah. I'm like, Lechem Yah is vaya con Dios. Go with God. That you say that to someone when they're departing. But we learning. But, you know, we got people that do all this stuff and then they faint-hearted. They give up on God. They no longer are the servants that they're supposed to be. We don't want to fall under that category. All right, y'all eating well in the hood. Barbecue beef, rib, barbecue amberjack fish, kale, spinach, potato salad, and fruit. Goodness. All of y'all, one person had curry lamb. Eating good in the neighborhood. Verse 15, those who fear Yahweh do not disobey his words, and those who love him keep his ways. Do not disobey his words, and those who love him keep his ways. We got to get to that. Not to disobey his words and to walk in his ways. Those who fear Yahweh seek to please him, and those who love him are filled with his law, with his instructions. That's right. Those who fear Yahweh prepare their hearts and humble themselves before him. Let us all fall into the hands of Yahweh. Be not into the hands of mortals, for equal to his majesty is his mercy, and equal to his name are his works. Hallelujah. So let us all follow Yah. Let us all walk in his ways. Let us all walk in the instructions that the Most High God gave us as a people. It's important for us as a people to walk in those instructions. It's important for us as a people to be the song that we sing and the message that we bring. That is important as a people. We must do all those things, you know. We must do all those things. So, before we go out, I'm going to play a couple of tunes. Because I know y'all like listening to the tunes. Let me see what we got here. Find one of my favorite songs here. Here we go.
beside him. It won't come back. It won't come back. And his word won't come back void. 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 I remember the days when they told me that his word won't come back void. Listening to the wisdom my elders gave to me. And his word won't come back void. Flipping through my scrolls, I found Deuteronomy. And his word won't come back void. The 28th chapter, everything happened to me. And his word won't come back void. But if you cannot count the stars in heaven, let's praise the Most High, for whose wisdom is high. Let's raise His glory up higher. When you see the rain fall from heaven, go ahead and look for the bowl in the sky.
of high places. By the way, when it passed me, she standeth under you, man, I call.
And here is your main braised beef with the parsnip garnish.
It's time to get more.
Instead of man for dead, over a dollar bill. If I forget Jerusalem, make my hand forget its skill. Our nation not go to let them kill off the little children. Straighten them up, man, them a take it up to pill. When I love them, should have a instill. End the senseless violence, them a bump in the field. Stop them wicked, fulfill your mouth, thy will to wait. War! From Mount Zion hill, we come to wage war. Innocent blood spill, we come to wage war. And the murder was them. Who love kill, we come to wage war. And the wicked was them. To make them have the beast still. Yo, we should be a selection of shit on a star. Continuously headed together for a war. All know them not know what them is fighting for. Them get bite by the serpent, poison by the dog. You wouldn't like to enough in them shoe. Because all them out to meet them Waterloo. Them flex true, me no share them point of view. To them up here like animal, we believe us. So we wait war. From Mount Zion hill, we come to wait war. To stop the innocent blood spill, we come to wait war. From the murder was them. Kill me, come to wage war. And the wicked was them. To make them off the beast.
Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition as I take you on this ghetto expedition. Black man, I ain't the opposition. Television is the weapon used to take the competition. So to succeed in life, rather give us life in prison. Makes laws to enslave us, down to the politician. It's stuck in our condition, and self-is missing. They try to take back the earth, but we don't have the vision. Blood is rushing wholesale. Stop some religion till it's all this getting attention. Think we're scared of the collision. Murderers wholesale. Who you gon' go tell? Justice system gon' fail. No indictment, no jail. But when it's one of us, brother, no fail. We're the biggest consumers, play at a low scale. Show them the dollars of the dollar. Fuck you, no sale. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Just trust. If you just trust, urges me to go further. I commit myself to delight in the Father's will. I stand out all alone, but my faith is strong. But I know someone who is gonna walk with you. Open up your gates and let them come on through. Ooh, yeah. And the go, oh, oh, yeah. Raise my hands up to the E. The ending of a perfect man is peace. Yeah. I know someone who will walk with you. Open up your gates and let them come on through. Yeah, yeah. Well, I have seen the past and have felt the cold. Oh, I am young and will grow to be old. Yet have I never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging for bread. Trust in Yah and He will pull you through. If you just trust in Yah and He will pull you through. If you just trust,
Just trust, people, just trust. Voices of Zion.
Trust in Yah and He will pull you through. Cause I know someone who was gonna walk with you. Open up your gates and let them come on through. Ooh, yeah. I know someone who was gonna walk with you. Open up your gates and let them come on through. Ooh, yeah. Morning after morning, I wake up and see you all around, and knowing that you watch my every step. I wanna go and take 1,000. I tell them I need more for that cat. I've got the most high on my side. I can't lose, cause in the end I know it's not my fight. The way it turns out, He'll choose. I've been blessed, yes, it's true. My blessing comes in the form of you. No wish I could have made the way I'd like to satisfy or complete my life the way you do. It gets kind of hard to keep my pride living in these streets, hearing the laughs and small words as I walk by in my skirts. I fear losing all of my pride and going astray from the Most High. Then I remember who I'm walking for, and as it opens up my eyes, I know I've been blessed. Yes, it's true.
Put a one in the room if you've been blessed. Put a one in the room if you've been blessed. That's Chief Meku on the drums.
Comes in the form of you. You know wish I made. Prayer I pray to satisfy or complete my life the way you do. I've been blessed, yes, it's true. not unto the seed of Jacob seeking me in vain. I speak righteousness, I declare things that are right. There's one Lord for the homeborn and the stranger, love him with all your might. Look unto me and be saved, organs of the earth. For I am Yah, and there is definitely no one else. I have sworn by myself a word of righteousness that's gone from my mouth, a word that shall not return, that unto me every knee shall bow and every tongue shall swear. I have not spoken in secret in a place of a land of darkness. I said not unto the seed of Jacob seeking me in vain. I speak righteousness, I declare things that are right. There's one Lord for the homeborn and the stranger, love him with all your might. Yahweh shall the seed of Israel be justified, and shall glory, glory in Yahweh shall the seed of Israel be justified, and shall glory, glory in Yahweh shall the seed of Israel be justified, and shall glory, glory in Yahweh shall the seed of Israel be justified, and shall glory, glory. I have not spoken in secret in a place of a land of darkness. I said not unto the seed of Jacob seeking me in vain. I speak righteousness, I declare things that are right. There's one Lord for the homeborn and the stranger, love him with all your might. I have not spoken in secret in a place of a land of darkness. I said not unto the seed of Jacob seeking me in vain. I speak righteousness, I declare things that are right. There's one Lord for the homeborn and the stranger, love him with all your might. I have not spoken in secret in a place of a land of darkness. I said not unto the seed of Jacob seeking me in vain. I speak righteousness, I declare things that are right. There's one Lord for the homeborn and the stranger, love him with all your might. This is how we praise His name forever. This is how we praise. This is how we praise His name. This is how we praise forever. Come on, where there is peace, we believe. We believe in love. Where there is Israel, hear my cry.
Prescott, I know you would like this one. I know I seen another Prescott out there. This is their brother singing this song. The next tune is for the oldies, for the people who like the oldies.
Doing the Lord, you can trust God, 'cause troubles don't last always. If you remember to give God His praise, to love God is to love life. See, He's our husband and we're His wife. Thank you, Father, for opening up my eyes to your righteousness, Lord, that made me civilized. Glory, hallelujah. Hear my cry. Glory, hallelujah. Oh, glory, hallelujah. Father, I've got to thank you here on my knees. Cause you showed me my name, Lord, you taught me my way. That's right. Got to say thank you, Father, for the Shabbat day. For the tag brethren here, I got today. Oh, your always make me strong. God, when I'm weak, Father, you make me invincible. When I got my brothers see, got to praise your name. Got to praise it, please. Got to say thank you, Father, for showing me. Glory, hallelujah.
Can you hear my cry?
Glory, hallelujah.
Can you feel it in my soul? Yeah. Lord, can you help us? Help us do what's right, yeah. Lord, would you save us now before we lose our mind? We need you so bad, yeah. Oh, glory, hallelujah. Can you hear my cry? Hallelujah. Can you feel it in my soul? Yeah.
Excellent things. Opening up my lips should be right thing. Nothing perverse the cookies and down. Nah, nah, nah. Oh, Lord, you taught me laws and statutes. How to stand upright before you. How can I let you down? And I'll provide my voice. We've got to love God with our heart and soul. And if you don't, then you reap what you sow. When I get up every morning, I pray to God for strength and peace before I go to my job. Temptation and evil everywhere. Put your trust in God and have no fear. Oh, yeah. Hallelujah. Oh, yeah. Glory, hallelujah. Father, come let us shine. I'm gonna praise your name. Chill. Come back every day, Lord. I'm gonna praise your name till the light goes out in these eyes. I'm gonna praise your name, Father, from the mountain sky. Oh, Father, yes, you're my strength. You know you're my will. You're everything, Lord, I need to keep it on. Say, yes, you're my strength. Father, you're my will. You're everything I need, Lord, to help me keep it on. Glory, hallelujah. Glory to my King. Glory to the King. You make me feel so good, yeah, on a Shabbat day. You are my King, and I'm gonna give you all my praise. You are the most I got, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, oh, my babe. Glory, hallelujah. Can you hear my cry? Glory, hallelujah. Oh, My God is king, yes he is. I'm not ashamed to tell the world. I'll shout it to the hills. Sing a prayer. Oh, Lord, you've been my sun and shield. You give me everything I have. You brought me to Shabbat, Yisrael. I just want to praise you. Oh yeah, I got to say glory.
Hear my cry.
Glory, hallelujah.
Can you feel it in my bones?
Glory,
Yeah.
hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah.
Can you hear it in my toes?
Glory,
Yeah.
hallelujah.
Can you hear my cry?
Glory, hallelujah.
Can you feel it in the bones? Yeah.
Claudette say I'm good at lip syncing. That's funny. I really wish I could sing.
Yisrael, imatanu, 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 kebedekaya, imatanu, 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 kebedekaya, imatanu, 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 kebedekaya, sislake amka. Yisrael. Imatanu, 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 Kemenekaya. 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 Imatanu, 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 Kemenekaya.
Zakor et Yom HaShabbat lekwadsho. Sheshet Yamim ta'avo. Wa'asita kol melakteka. Yom HaShvi'i Shabbat la Yehovah Eloheka. Lo ta'aseh kol melaka. Ata uvinka uviteka abdeka ve'amatcha uvhemtecha ve'gereka asher bish areka. Ki sheshet yamim asa Yehovah et hashamayim ve'et haaretz et hayam ve'et kol asher bam ve'yanak beyom hashvi'i al ken berach Yehovah et Yom HaShabbat va'ekwat shehu. Shabbat day to keep it holy. Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. Yehovah is the King of the universe. Yehovah is the King of the universe. In Elohim Yisrael, you've got to praise the Lord. 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 Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. And don't profane it. Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. God said so. Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. Israel, remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. Yehovah is the King of the universe. Yehovah is the King of the universe. In Elohim Yisrael, you've got to praise the Lord. Israel, you've got to praise the Lord. Israel, you've got to praise the Lord. Israel, you've got to praise the Lord. Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. And don't profane it. Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. God said so. Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. Israel, remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. Great is the Lord and highly to be praised. Great is the Lord and highly to be praised. Great is the Lord and highly to be praised. Great is the Lord and highly to be praised. Yehovah is the King of the universe. Yehovah is the King of the universe. In Elohim Israel, you've got to praise the Lord. 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 Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. And don't profane it. Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. God said so. Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. Israel, remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. Yehovah is the King of the universe. Yehovah is the King of the universe. In
There we go.
Elohim
High God is much higher. He answers all of our prayers, gives us all of our endeavors.
When I seen Rome prospering wherever they go, I envied the wicked so much that my feet were gone. But now I hold on to someone I know is strong. He my rock and fortress. I put my trust in Yahweh. Then you and me, that the whole world can see. Oh yeah, my King here, He protects us all, and He heard my call. Yahweh is higher. Is Yah a man to where He gotta lie? Is His ear heavy to where He will not hear? Is His arm shortened to where He cannot say? Cast your burden down and give them to Yahweh. Then you and me, that the whole world see. Oh yeah, my King here, He protects us all, and He heard my call. Yahweh is higher. I used to worry about
Got one
if
more
my
tune
bills
coming
get
after this.
paid. I used to worry
Then I'm done.
about all of my enemies. I used to worry about if my friends would stay. But now I take my problems and give them to Yahweh. He must. Then you and me, that the whole world can see. Oh yeah.
Gonna change up the pace a little
He protects us all,
on the next tune.
and He heard my
Give it a little Latin flavor. This is the 82nd song. All right, really, this is going to be the last tune right here. Acapella, here we go. Okay, there you have it. I overextended my time tonight. Way past my bedtime. But I was just feeling it, so sometimes you do it like that. And y'all was into it. It just felt good. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the words of wisdom that were brought forth earlier. And may everyone have a nice night of sleep. May the Most High God bless each and every one of you. Shalom, shalom.